I mean, in terms of thinking about strategy, almost never. Broadly speaking, where my sort of at least equity strategy is going, I think it's pretty stable, pretty consistent. On a longer term, diversification strategy, that is much harder. And that's something I think about sort of semi-regularly. That's as and when money comes available, thinking about, the classic Belgian invest in more property or application beyond Curvo, particularly with this introduction of the capital gains tax. I'm very conscious that once I start getting to around, because it's what, 10,000 a year, which means once you stand, that it becomes a little more tricky. Yeah, that's where I'm thinking, as we get closer to that mark, that's where I'm going to start looking to diversify and get into alternative assets. What those are, still not 100% clear. Very hard to find a sort of good property manager in Belgium that will take care of a lot of that aspect. So that's tricky. Don't really want to go into sort of alternative assets like sort of Bitcoin and that kind of stuff. It's not really that I find particularly interesting. But yeah, the whole get rich slow thing, it's very difficult in Belgium once you hit that, actually even $250,000 marks. Yeah, so a primary portfolio is about retirement. Fairly conscious as an expat, the likelihood that I have a solid pension plan in any country is basically zero. So I'm sort of trying my best to prepare for that eventuality, with the goal to, maybe by 50 start to think about hanging out my hat and sort of high intensity work and move towards something a little more personally fulfilling but less financially rewarding. So that's the sort of the first piece. The second piece is it's a wedding fund. So off the back of our wedding, we got a bunch of gifts. Just have nowhere to put them. We have no specific goal for them just yet, so we just drop them into Curvo. I'll put them to a slightly more conservative portfolio with a view to maybe next year, maybe in a couple of years, liquidating that and doing something interesting. But yeah, right now it's very much just a holding place for a bit of money. I will say I'm a bit of a Curvo evangelical. I have recommended it to a number of my friends who I know are very fond of it. I tend to describe it as a robo investor platform, like a bank account where you deposit money and it takes care of the investment piece. And I think for most of my friends who know very little about investing and who are ultimately quite lazy and a little bit risk averse, that's sort of exactly. Yeah, no, look, that's great. Does exactly what I needed to do. If anything, I'd encourage you to keep it simple. Nothing much. I don't think you can speed up the deposit process, which, that would be the only frustration is it takes sort of the month to see the money show up. But